Hi there, and welcome to Graphic Memory. Graphic memory has been hailed by some as a longer or more strike-prone module just because of the amount of information that has to be relayed back and forth between the expert diffuser. But hopefully this tutorial can help you to alleviate some of that stress by realizing that you can actually have some strategy for how you want to approach the module. For starters on graphic memory, let's describe what this module is asking for. To begin, we can press any of these buttons to start disarming the module, and then we need to continue pressing the correct button based on how many respective conditions are lit. Like Blind Alley, you want to hit, if all of these conditions are lit, you'll be hitting the top left corner. Or if you have a tie here for most conditions, you could hit either corner. Specifically though, you'll choose a button to hit, and before you hit said button, we need to take down of how many shape, color, and number of everything, as well as the position of the button before hitting it, because it will be applicable to how the conditions apply. The conditions apply to only the buttons that you've already hit, so not the buttons on the module itself, just the buttons that you've already hit. That's why you can hit any button to begin. I like squares than triangles. I try to keep it in a more descending order just so it's a little easier to look at. So we have 1 purple, 1 orange, SQ for square, 2 red, TR for triangle. We've taken down the information on the top left button, we hit the top left button. Fantastic. Now let's start looking at these conditions. The first condition in each button is how many buttons of that position you've hit. In this case, we have hit more top left buttons than any other single position. There we go. Now, there are some dualities here, more squares than triangles, more triangles than squares. There are specific color combinations like blue and green triangles, yellow and purple squares, than any other color shape combination. Those are relatively rare, but just to note mentally, we have more red triangles than anything, and that's not one of the conditions that they're looking for. We also need to note how many of squares and triangles overall we've hit. Right now we have the same number, so that triggers the bottom left condition. We need to know how many overall that we've hit between red, blue, yellow, and green, orange, purple, of which we've hit an even amount so far, so that triggers none of this. And then we need to know how many buttons total have more squares than triangles, or triangles than squares, like up here. Right now, though, it doesn't look like we have a lot lit because everything's pretty even, so we can hit a top left or a bottom right here. Let's go for a more polarizing option. Now, what this will do when we hit the top left again is it'll give us another top left press. It will give us more triangles than squares, and then we need to start mentally checking if we have more triangles at this point than any other combination, because this will give us 2 and tie us with red triangles. So that doesn't give us more, that just ties it for the most. So if we see more blue triangles, we need to be on the lookout for that. 2 blue, 1 purple, 1 orange, TR for triangle. Top left. Okay. We now have more triangles than squares. That's the first thing that we'll toggle. Currently we have the same number of green, orange, purple, and red, blue, yellow. Okay. We don't have a specific shape combination. We have one button currently that has more triangles than squares. So we highlight the bottom left, the top left rather, more triangles than squares. We don't have the shape combination, we don't have the top left presses. So we're pretty much even once again. We've toggled a new condition here because we've had more triangles overall than not. So let's stick with our guns. Let's go top left again. In general, if you're looking for a strategy for this, if you can go for a more polarizing option, like if you want to start with bottom left and always have more triangles for the most part, unless you click on a 3x3 square grid or something like that, you will pretty much always be able to count that you have more triangles than squares. Just as a general rule, you don't have to look at this at all, you won't have to go, oh, do I have more? And once you have one of those conditions that's very polarizing, you can click on squares that are more even like this. This button is pretty even in all regards. It has a little more orange than green, so it will trigger this condition when we get to it. We have 2 orange triangles. Now we can press the top left button. Okay, that's the information taken down. More buttons with triangles and squares, yes, because these two are tied. We don't have a shape combination specifically. We have more triangles and squares due to the second button. We have more top left presses still. Now is the interesting part. We start getting into the blue, red, yellow conditions. You can see we are tied even here. We're tied even here. If you want even, you can note the positive difference one way or the other. So these are both washes, since purple and orange are on the same one, blue is on the different one. Here though, we have green and then 2 orange, so it's +1 for GOP. Meaning that suddenly the only correct option is the bottom right corner. Okay, so bottom right, we have, let's start with squares. We have 1 red square in the center there. We have 2 orange triangles. We have 1 red, 1 blue, 1 yellow triangle in total. And let's keep looking at our results. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 2. So this is a +2 for RBY rather. Meaning that this condition will shift up to the top right once we hit the bottom right button, like we will do now. So this condition shifts up to the right. We still don't have a unique shape combination, although at this point it'd be kind of hard to tell. Just make sure in the back of your head that you're looking at purple squares, yellow squares, blue triangles, green triangles, which we don't have any right now. We have orange. We're getting there on blue. But we don't have more than any specific combination so far. We have a red triangle to match this. We have orange triangles more than anything else, for example. So top right is the condition, since nothing else is toggled so far. We still have more buttons because this one's not tied, with more triangles and squares, so this remains the same. Let's write down the top right information. We have 1 green, 1 yellow square. We have 3 purple and 1 orange triangle. This will affect our count 4, 5. So this will definitely put it back in the green, orange, purple camp. This is a +4 green, orange, purple. So that's 5 to 2 in favor. So it's a +3 for green, orange, purple. We will still have more top left positions. So this will be our bottom right button that we are pressing here. And we haven't toggled any other combinations so far, since this is more in the triangle camp here, and we don't have the same number of all 6 possible colors. We have 1 blue, 1 green square, and 2 orange, 1 red, 1 blue triangle, for a total of... Oh, I haven't hit the top right, have I? There we go. So now we are looking at the bottom right specifically and taking down this information. And that doesn't change anything. We will still have the top left, even though we've now hit the top right specifically. We will have 1, 2, 3 versus 2, so this is a wash. We will still have more triangles after this, so now we can hit the bottom right button. And here's one with all 7 stages, of course. How is this affecting us? We will still have more green, orange, purple. We still have more top left positions, since we have 2 bottom right to 1 top right. We have more triangles and squares overall. We have more buttons with triangles and squares. We don't have any specific color combination. We have the same number of all 6 possible colors. So since we have 4 to 7 button presses, this is the last one. We don't need to take down the information for the last one. We hit the bottom right button, and the module solves. Whoa! Okay. Let's try another one. A little more condensed, a little faster with these rules in mind. Really, the only way to, besides the polarization, is knowing basically what you're looking for, or keeping certain amounts in your head of where the switch points are that would trigger a different condition. So is there a polarizing option here? There is. This one is more polarizing. So is this one. This gives us yellow triangles immediately. 4 of them, actually. Let's try this. Let's try this bottom left corner and see where it leads us. So we'll say bottom left, 1 purple SQ, 4 yellow, 1 purple tri. This in total gives us a +2 RBY. Okay, so at the bottom left corner. And we'll start on our journey. We have more bottom left presses. We overall have more triangles than squares. We have more buttons with more triangles than squares. We don't have the same number. We have more red, blue, yellow, so this is very strongly top right so far. And the rest of these conditions don't specifically apply, so we'll take down the top right, which is just triangles. 1 yellow, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 green. TR. This is a +1 for red, blue, yellow. I can't count, that's a +2 for red, blue, yellow. Press the top right. We still have all of these conditions applying except the bottom left. We don't have more blue triangles in any specific shape. We don't have the same number. We don't have any specific color combinations. Okay, top right again. We have 1 orange square. Keeping with our polarizing of triangles, meaning that these will keep applying for a little while, although this might shift the values down so we could hit any of the 3. We'll be hitting our top right again. We have 2 purple, 1 orange, 1 green, 1 blue triangle. So adjusts our red, blue, yellow amount by, let's see, this cancels, so +4 green, orange, purple, meaning that it's a wash between the 2 currently. We will hit our top right. Let's hit our top right. Now, we still have more triangles and squares. We still have more buttons with triangles and squares. Our colors are a wash. We don't have any specific presses. We do have more top right buttons, however. So we will need to take down the top left information now. We have 1 purple, 1 blue square. We have 2 yellow, 1 green, 1 orange triangle. And this can be easily relayed to Fuser Expert. You tell them what button you think you want, they give you the information, you press it, life continues on. Overall, for colors, this will shift us one way or the other, I have a feeling. This is 3. This is, nope, this is a wash, so this doesn't matter either. We still have, we will be hitting top left here, so we can, at this point we will have more top right button presses than any other position when we hit top left. So we have everything written down correctly. So we hit top left here, and the module solves. I think I might have highlighted this condition prematurely, but because it was tied for top right presses at that point, we then had this condition light up for the 4th stage. So we had a 7 stage and a 4 stage of graphic memory. I hope that's helped you to understand a little better some possible strategies for how you can tackle this module. It does take a little bit of time, but you can get by with a 90 to 95% confidence most of the time if you're aware of what you should be looking for and toggling. That's about it for graphic memory. If you have any comments or suggestions on strategies, please post them in the comments below. I'm not a end-all be-all on this module topic, and I look forward to hearing what your specific strategy is for this module. With that, thank you so much for watching, and now you know how to defuse an expert graphic memory.